to ask you the question as to why did the Raptors get rid of Pascal Siakam?
I think it's a few things. I think that's a multi-layered answer. So I'll give you a multi-layered response. I think
Ooh,
um
gotta get in these Slurry McFlurries before they're gone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in on To The Point, and you guys can find us Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching us. Go down there, click subscribe, click like. We're waiting for 750 subs, and this can be yours once we get to that point. We will be sending it out to you guys. And thank you guys for enjoying our fantastic guests. Oh my God, I am so elated. I lost so much sleep. Sorry if I have the bags under my eyes, but this is amazing. Right here, we have the incomparable, the intelligent, the intuitive,
ooh,
the one and only Ms. Nelly J. How are you doing
hey.
today, my dear?
Oh, what an introduction. Wow. I am doing fantastic. Always great to be on the podcast. Love chopping it up with y'all for Raptors. So yeah, how are you doing though?
I'm doing fine.
Awesome. Awesome.
And we also have the phenomenal phenom Fahim
Ooh.
from Raptors Live TV. You guys make sure you guys could find Nelly J and Fahim on the Raptors Live on X after each game. They hold it down. Absolutely amazing. I don't know about you, but I'm there. Okay. Fahim, how are you doing today? And I'm happy to hear about your new endeavor.
No, appreciate that. The phenomenal. Appreciate that. Yeah, glad to be on. Always great talking hoops with you. So, let's go.
Okay. So let's get into this. Okay. I alluded to with my swirly McFlurry, but Pascal Siakam is no longer a Toronto Raptor. It's been official, right? It's set in stone. It's in cement. We know what the Raptors are dealing with right now. But Ms. Nelly, as usual, ladies first. And because we praise you so much, I would like to ask you the question as to why did the Raptors get rid of Pascal Siakam?
I think it's a few things. I think that's a multi-layered answer. So I'll give you a multi-layered response. I think
Ooh,
in terms of this front office, I don't think they were prepared to give him away in the first place. It seems like they procrastinated on making a decision because of Scotty Barnes' development. I think they thought he would have been further along by now, right? Even though Scotty Barnes is doing much better now, that second season, it wasn't too great, right? Overall. And so they had to make sure that he can at least do a 20-point minimum average, do everything that we think he can do. And I think he proved that this year that he can sustain that, right? This year he proved that he can be that because last year, I think the challenge is that they got rid of Fred too late. If they traded Fred by the deadline, they could have seen Scotty and a Pascal offense last end of last year and then evaluate, okay, you know what? We know Scotty can handle being the guy of this team. Let's trade Pascal now. And I think it's a trickle down effect where because we were so last minute with Fred, he walks away, and then now we're scrambling. And what happened? What happened? So if we just made pull the trigger on Fred, I think a year ago, we would not be here. Because everything is saw in Scotty now, I think he would have done with Pascal and Pirtle and that team last year, and it would have seen, you know what, he can handle this. He can shoot, he can score, he can come up. And I think Fred VanVleet, love him, but the ball was in his hands a lot, right? It was a lot. Whereas we want to see, I think most fans, we want to see the ball in Scotty's hands, and that never happened last year. So that's why I think it happened now. And Pascal, unfortunately, I think, he's traded mid-season. He didn't want to go, right? Two-time All-NBA player did not want to go, right? He was a casualty, I think, right? Because of the front office procrastination with Fred VanVleet. It all kind of comes down to that, right? If we moved Freddie early, all this would have been backdated, and Pascal would have had a summer of, you know what? Boom, I can be traded. He could have picked a team he wanted, and I think we've gotten a much better deal for Pascal in a 1 year left and a half season left. So that's why I think we traded him, is because, not only for Scotty's production and timing, but I just think that we traded him too late. Too late. But hey, the trade happened, like you said. But I just think that Fred VanVleet thing, man, it just trickled down to why we procrastinated, and now we're on a rush. But hey, I think the Raptors did the best they could, with what they had. So, but I still think it's a mismanagement of how the front office delayed Fred VanVleet. I think that is the main cause. Because until Fred VanVleet decided to go to the Rockets, you notice our front office was kind of at a stall. It was a stall because we weren't sure he's going to come back or not. So that stalled a lot of things that the Raptors were going to do. And I'm not sure why Fred VanVleet demands that type of attention in the offseason, to be honest, in my opinion.
My mom would differ from you, but she doesn't know jack all about.
Oh, I know. Listen, I love Freddie, but not on this team. Love him. Two different directions. Like OG and Pascal, love them all, but I think the team is moving to a new direction. That's why we can still like a player, but understand the fit is not there anymore. It's like a boyfriend or girlfriend. Love you a lot, but we're not, like, it's toxic now. It's a toxic relationship. I'm not helping you grow, you're not helping me grow, right? Like, and I think OG is going to grow much better where he's at. I think Siakam will grow more where he's at. Sometimes you got to change scenery. You got to. That's life. Got to evolve.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Nelly J. Much appreciated for as to the why. But now, the phenomenal Fahim, I got to ask you, was it worth it to get rid of Pascal Siakam from this Toronto Raptors squad?
So it would depend on where you sit. Some people or Pascal.
Well, I'm
Siakam
sitting right here, bro.
Some people being Pascal Siakam fans, maybe not happy, seeing it more from an emotional standpoint of what he did for the franchise, where he stands in regards to franchise records, etc. On the flip side, it's in regards to Scotty Barnes and the new direction we have with our new coin phrase BBQ, Barnes, Barrett, and Barnes, Barrett, and quickly. So it's about coming down to direction. If you're speaking about was it worth it for me, 100%, I think it was worth it. Speaking to Nelly J's point, maybe a little bit late. If you were going to go this direction, maybe we could have done this earlier and maybe got some more in return. But I have to say, one thing is for certain is we have a direction. And a team without a direction, that's where problems lie. And that's where we've been going, I think, for the last, maybe even this half season. With Pascal, there's been a lot of cloud of what's going to happen with him. Just the fact that now we have some closure to the situation. What we got in return in regards to worth, it's really coming down to the picks. And, the 3 picks, it's a matter of, do we trust Masai to make something of those picks or not? Some people may be in the mindset to say, well, since Tampa, so the Scotty trade, we really haven't had a great history with Masai in regards to his picks. His defense, he really hasn't had a lot of high picks. With this, though, some of them will be in a better position where maybe Masai will have an opportunity to maybe be more successful in these picks to get them into some quality roles. But in regards to worth, I think just the fact that we have Masai, we have a plan, we have a clear direction of where we're going. I have to say, I find it hard that regardless of where you land, if someone says that they don't see the worth of moving on from Pascal and investing in the future in Scotty.
That both of you guys brought up some absolutely amazing points. May I weigh in here? I would like to say, you know what? It is bitter for some. It is sweet for some. And for the rest, it is bittersweet that Pascal Siakam is gone. I still want my McFlurries, man. But it for the Toronto Raptors, what they have projected is now that Pascal is gone, let's just say Chris Boucher is the last man standing from the championship team, right? So the Raptors are on a different trajectory and a different course from where they were before, and it might fit, like you just said, with Masai and also Bobby Webster, right, for their vision, and with Scotty Barnes, because let's face it, I've said this to nauseum, that Scotty Barnes is going, whether we like it or not, to be the face of the franchise for the Toronto Raptors coming up. Yeah, I gotta go get that jerk bowl from Subway. I gotta try that out. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. The Toronto Raptors are moving in a different area, with RJ Barrett, with Iman quickly, right? Like you said just now, Fahim, with BBQ, right? Like, yeah, I'd like to go up on Eglinton and get some Randy's BBQ. But anyway, the Raptors are on a different trajectory. And a lot of people right now, I would like to say this to a lot of Raptors fans, to calm down, bring it down a bit, okay? Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? The Raptors are working towards something different, and something different in the NBA that I've seen in my 5 decades watching it. And it's absolutely phenomenal to see the way they are going. Now, my question to both of you, based on what I've just said, and based on your points, okay, you guys pick. You guys could play rock, paper, scissors, and see who could talk first. But how are the Raptors going to progress, especially after their last game against the Miami Heat, as of this recording?
I'm gonna let Fahim go first.
So ups and downs for sure. I do think though it takes time for the new acquisitions to like gel and chemistry. The little bit I've seen since the trade that we had, the OG Anunoby trade, the little I've seen, I've been very much encouraged. Even when we're losing, remember the fake? There's a term of the fake comeback that we had for the first period.
For the last 2 years, 3 seasons?
Right. I think that since the OG trade, I think the fake comeback era is over. With this team, and this, I'm just speaking for myself.
No. I'm just thinking about it. My thinking face.
Yeah,
I'm like,
third quarter, down 15 points. I feel confident with that. With the team we have enough pieces that if a comeback is made going into the fourth quarter, we can actually close it out. I think they have the personnel to do it. That's something I didn't really have the confidence with before with this fake comeback. That's where I land with this. Nelly J, how about you?
Yeah, so I'll touch on the point you just landed on. I think the fake comeback era is still here because even with BBQ, there were some games where we're up in the fourth quarter and we lost the lead. The Lakers, the Clippers, we came up close. Like there were games where we were up and we lost the lead. Now with the Lakers, we can argue Ben Taylor, but we were up.
Don't get me started on the Lakers, but go on.
I know, right? But we were up, but we lost the lead because we couldn't score for 2 minutes, and it still happens. Even against Miami, I saw moments where we couldn't make a bucket for 2-3. It's like we go in a drought and we forget how to play offensively. So I do think that's a young team. Like any young team goes into like waves. Like, they say basketball is a game of runs, right? That's the typical comment. And our team, we're going to go on a run this year for sure. And I think the run's going to be, I think we're going to go on a winning. We have to. Every team goes on a run. We're going to have one, but I just think right now, like to your point, Fahim, we are trying to gel. And I do think, though, that with this team, even though they're young, they have highs and they have lows. And that game that you mentioned that happened earlier this week with Miami, that third quarter, it was 30 points to 15. We had 15 points in a quarter. That's a team of like not being mature enough, not maintaining a lead, kind of lazy, going back to bad habits. That happened. So to me, I don't think we're out the woodwork yet. But to your point, Fahim, the offense looks way better. The ball movement looks way better. We actually have skilled basketball players that can slash, that can go down rim, and can finish at the rim in a nice way. And also, I think one thing we're missing, though, also we have people that actually aren't afraid of taking contact. Before we didn't have that. People would go up, get contact, and then, I mean, wasn't it the Cavaliers? We missed like, I think it was 20% from the freaking the dunker spot. That was nasty work, right? Around the rim, like. So we were terrible finishers at the rim. Now we're not. I'll give it one check mark. But when it comes to maintaining a lead, being mature, being disciplined throughout a game, understanding the game is a game of waves, not taking bad shots, all that stuff is still there. But to your point, is promising because we have better talented players on the roster that I think can shoot and score. So it's all about being disciplined on the floor. So I do agree with that. I think the one thing we're missing when it comes to moving forward, we still have one more expiring contract left. Gary Trent Jr. He's still there. That's still a cloud over this roster. So we're not out the woodwork yet. Is he going to be traded? Are we paying him? February 8th, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we'll know, but he's the last piece of the puzzle. And until that is done, I don't think the big clouds are gone, but it's still one more cloud left. And I think the Raptors management, it's their job now to figure out what's the goal with Gary Trent. Because he started, and we know when Gary Trent starts, he can shoot again. So what's the plan with him?
Nelly, you just said it. On February 8th, we will see where all the pieces fall. Now, the players that came from Indiana, I was with Prob Warich on the Warich Report. Shout out to him. And we did talk about the Pascal trade. And but these two players, I am not too familiar with. Do you think this is a question for both of you guys. Do you guys think that Masai gathered them as like icing on the cake for the 4 draft picks in total that he has received? Do you think these guys are icing on the cake for quite possibly a trade coming down the pipeline prior to February 8th?
Well, that's a speculation right now. I read a report by, I think it's Aaron on Sports Illustrated, talking about how the Knicks have wanted Bruce Brown, right? Jordan Nwora, he plays for Team Nigeria. I don't know if that's just like a pickup where Masai likes him. He knows the family. He thinks that he has potential. I spoke to a few people that seen him play growing up, and I asked, "What's your thoughts?" He can shoot really well. He's a shooter. Like, he can shoot the ball very well. And I think we've always wanted shooters. So if he can shoot better than Boucher and be an energy guy, he's a better size than Boucher. He's not like thin. Then that's a good option off the bench. But again, we have McDaniel, we have other guys there as well. I also think Bruce Brown. I'm a big fan of Bruce Brown from before. I liked how he played in the finals. I think he brings the toughness that we don't have, like a toughness to an edge to the Raptors, right? And I think he brings, like, his energy is always contagious. Like, you can tell teammates love playing with him. And so I don't know if the Raptors are going to move him. I mean, clearly he has to want to stay here, right? Because I think the player option is that next season. So if he wants to stay here, we would love to have Bruce Brown. I think he would be so great. And also, I think he would be a good influence on Scotty Barnes in terms of, like, just being tough encouraging him, being that mouthpiece, like, let's go, Scotty. Let's go, Scotty. Let's go. I could see him being that kind of like, the kind of like energy that, a little bit. I could see him kind of acting up a bit more than the other guys. So I think he'd be a great, like, contagious type of vibe. But yeah, I mean, we don't know what the Raptors play is, but I do think that and then you have to have
like
veterans on the
Tigger
team,
to Winnie
and
the
guys.
Pooh.
Yeah, listen, man. Like sometimes some players need someone to push them a little bit, right? Everyone has not punch though, no little punch, guys. It's a push, meaning in a positive, impactful way. But I think every team needs someone like that, like a mouthpiece. Someone's gonna encourage everyone, but everyone's kind of in a, yo, man, let's go. Because we never had that. When we're down, we're down. Raptors really like, who do we see on the floor really pushing people? If it's us, Scotty, now with IQ and everyone else is better, but I mean, typically we don't really have that kind of energy. So I would like to keep them to see what they can do. But at the end of the day, I think Grady Dick needs more minutes. I'm all about, like, let's get our young guys reps, get them confident. I think Grady played very well against Miami. 9 minutes, he had energy. He was freaking like hustling. He was engaged. And I think he will get better. So I just think the Raptors, we have to have a good mixture of development as well as having the right people to help them develop. Because I think the best people to help players develop is other players also showing them how to get better too. That's all is down there.
Sorry to cut you off, Miss Nelly J. We're running over on time. We're about to cut off. Fahim, what would you have to say in regards to that before we get out of here?
I would think so. First of all, the two players we got, Nwora.
Well, three. Kira Lewis. We got Kira Lewis, Jordan Nwora, and Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown. So the two players I was not aware of, Nwora and Lewis Jr.
Kira Lewis. Yeah.
Had no idea before. Bruce Brown. All I can really say is you kind of touched about leadership, Nelly J. Here's let me kind of expand on that a bit. So on the court, because we have veterans, Dad, Garrett Temple, but those guys are on the bench, not really contributing on the court. On the court, after losing Pascal, who was as of this season, our on the court veteran. Now he's gone. It's nice to have someone like Bruce Brown, who would be considered a veteran in the league. He's won a championship, and also he fills a void that we have, because on the offensive end, we know that we're doing well offensively, but our biggest weakness is on defense. And we lost OG. And OG being on defense, also losing OG on defense has hurt our defense even more. One thing about Brown, if there's anything we can be sure of, is the fact that he will get at it defensively. So, I mean, he kind of covers two spots that we missed by missing Pascal and OG on a lesser term, being on the defensive end, covering what we missed with OG, and just in regards in the leadership, what we had with Pascal and his championship experience. Yeah,
that wing defender, great point.
Yeah.
You know what? Those are all great points. I'm sorry, guys. This conversation could probably go for another 3 hours. Right? But we want to watch the game. And time's a ticking. But this has absolutely been phenomenal. Would you guys like to give any parting shots? Just something real quick to the fans out there. Especially Fahim, I would love to plug what you're about to do, because I'm going to be a major supporter for that, and to the point will be. Would you guys like to say anything?
Yeah, I'll be real quick. I do a Raptors watch party every game. I'm there every game. Even
on
before
Twitter.
the trade,
On
even when it
X.
was ugly.
On X.
Even before, even when it was a rough Charlotte law, every game I'm on there. So check it out. We also have the Good Rookies podcast. Fahim and I co-host on that show. Good Rookies everywhere, social media, and Good Rookies on YouTube. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And I'm launching Random Facts with Nelly J podcast, dropping shortly. So please check it out. It's gonna be fun. Fahim, you got it. Next.
Nice. So on every Friday, if someone's on Twitter, it's a podcast called Raptors Live at 6. So at 6 p.m. from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. On Twitter, the social audio aspects of Twitter, for those who maybe see Twitter as tweeting, you can now get podcast audio conversations on there at 6 p.m. We're having Raptors Live at 6. We'll be discussing, everything from different tweets, everything Raptors related, have guests on, etc. So we're doing that from 6 to 7. Also, I just want to plug in once again. Nelly J runs an awesome NBA watch party. So if you're on the app and looking just to tap into anything and see what kind of conversations happen on Twitter, Nelly J's got it. And lastly, I want to shout out to the Point Podcast. Doing great work out here. Doing great work out here. So
great work, brother.
This opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you guys. It's been 5 years. Just recently, we just hit our milestone. So I appreciate you guys, most importantly, for coming on here. And everybody out there, you make sure you go check out Nelly J's podcast. Go check out the space on X. It's Wakanda Forever.
X.
Okay?
X.
Right? You make sure you go check out the phenomenal Fahim on X. It's Wakanda Forever. Okay? And thank you guys for tuning in on To The Point. Thank you guys for showing your mad love. And I really have to tip my hat to both of you for spending your time and enjoying it with us. And let's go watch the damn game. And I'll be on your space tonight,
Let's go,
Nelly.
Raptor. Let's go. Ooh.
Anyway, you guys out there, if you are watching right now, I consider you To The Point family. I consider you family with the incomparable Nelly J, the phenomenal Fahim, and just make sure you guys go down there, click subscribe, hook a brother up. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, on behalf of myself and the whole To The Point family, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
Peace.
Peace.